Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Allday0511, aka Ricky Raymond Jr. Now look, this was not today's scheduled video. I just could not sit back and let the media pretty much portray incorrect or put out incorrect information out there to a lot of people, and a lot of people who don't really understand or don't really do too much research and just kind of bite off whatever they see Max Kellerman or Stephen A. Smith say. You know what I mean? It's just a lot that's been going on about the Pelicans. Now look, I definitely like to hear you guys' opinion on everything I'm about to tell you, but just wait to the end of the video so you can actually hear everything, because I like to see what you guys think. Do you still stand on your same opinion? But I do a lot of research, and I did back up every fact that I'm going to say. So like I said, if you want to, I'm most definitely down for a debate in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. But like I said, if I were you, I would come with research, because that's what I'm coming back with you when I answer to your comment. So look, man, Zion Williamson more than likely is going to be the #1 pick by the New Orleans Pelicans. From day one, since he pretty much declared that he was entering the draft, that he was going to New York. Now this year the draft system was a little bit, draft lottery was different than most years. Due to the NBA want to put a stop on teams just tanking, because tanking does not help ratings, tanking does not help views, you know what I mean? Tanking kind of hurts the league actually, because you know people's not going to watch the games, especially if that team, because they know it's going to be a blowout. So every team, the top three worst seed teams, all had a 14% chance of getting a #1 pick. 14% chance is not even a quarter. That's, you know, I don't understand when you got 12 other teams that's also got a percentage at getting a #1 pick. You see what I mean? Like 14% was not a strong foothold for a lot of people to come out and say New York was getting a #1 pick, New York was getting a #1 pick, due to that being years back. But we'll get into that a little later in this video. But after New York didn't get it, New Orleans wound up getting a #1 pick. The Memphis Grizzlies wound up getting a #2 pick. Now, after New Orleans got the #1 pick, it all came back to, oh, well, Zion's now debating on going back to Duke to play another season. No, there's no. Why would you? That almost made zero to absolutely no sense. And they all based it off of, oh, well, did you see his face? Did you see his facial reaction about, you know, the Pelicans getting the #1 pick? If you guys go back and watch the video, I don't even have to put it in this video. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but look, you guys can go back and watch the video. Zion did not, it wasn't like, oh, he just had like a stank look about New Orleans, or like, oh, I'm not going to play here. He didn't answer any interview questions, which is smart. I mean, why would you? There's no reason for you to answer interview questions. What are you going to say? Oh yeah, I'm happy to play for New Orleans Pelicans, when even though we guarantee Zion being the #1 pick, there's still also 60 other players that can also be drafted ahead of him. You get what I'm saying? It wouldn't be smart, but at the same time, you know what I mean? You have to humble yourself. You just can't come out here just because people are saying you're the #1 pick. Oh yeah, well, let me walk around and think I'm the, you know, big dog, you know? He's just a humble player. If you guys watching the other Zion's interview, he's just a humble guy. He's not really cocky. You know what I mean? He's not the type of guy that's like, oh yeah, I'm the best player. You know what I mean? Like he's not a cocky guy. Anyway, so look, let's break down these market sizes real quick. I know that the NBA, everybody knows NBA is 30 teams. The media also has been portraying it. The media has also been portraying it as, oh, well, New Orleans is the smallest market team, which that is true. They are ranked 30th in the NBA. Memphis Grizzlies being ranked 29th. So New Orleans is ranked the smallest market in the not US, but in the NBA. Now, that's true to a certain extent. They're the smallest market in the NBA, but out of the 210 Nelson designated TV markets in the US, the Pelicans are ranked 52nd. So with the Pelicans being at 30th, they're 20 out of the 25, 22 of the teams. I'm trying to think of them. I forgot the number, but 22 of the 25 of the 22. Look, anyway, just know that a lot of the top ranked programs, like 22, yeah, out of the top 25th ranked programs on Nelson TV, out of the Nelson program, 22 of them are NBA franchises. You see what I'm saying? So for the Pelicans to be ranked 52nd, there's probably other sports programs that's ranked higher than it, or other, you know what I mean? But for the Pelicans to still be ranked 52nd out of 210 shows that the market is small in the NBA, but at the same time, it's not small on television. The Pelicans can sell tickets. Trust me, they can. Due to the fact that also when you have a guy like Zion Williamson with the era of social media, you know, I mean, like Zion sold 3,000 tickets. The New Orleans Pelicans sold 3,000 season tickets after the Pelicans wound up getting the #1 pick. That's not even, they haven't even decided who they're going to pick up yet, but everybody kind of already knows where it's heading to. It's probably going to be Zion more than likely. But yeah, so the top 5, and let's just put this into market size for you also. You know, a lot of the media, they like to downsize the Pelicans with the market size, but the Pelicans, we're just going to act like they didn't go to the second round last season in the playoffs, that we didn't beat the Portland Trailblazers. Oops, my bad. Without Boogie Cousins. Oh, my fault. Oh, we're just going to act like the season before that we didn't make the playoffs also without any superstar besides Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday. Yeah, we're just going to ignore all of that. And we're just going to say that the Pelicans suck, right? You know? So the top 5 ranked market sizes in the NBA is New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Philly, and Dallas. Now, from the teams I just named, I can only think of actually 2 teams that made the playoffs off of that list this season. Are any of them still in the playoffs now? No. New York hasn't been good since the 70s. Or before that. That was a whole different area. There are people in my generations that couldn't even tell you who half of the people that won a championship with New York is. This is a new generation. It's nothing but old heads that want to see New York get back on the map. Why would you reward a program? Why would you want to reward a program that's been tanking, hasn't been good, and you want to send a guy that you say that the Pelicans wasted 7 years of Anthony Davis' career when New York hasn't even made a playoff appearance since when? Oh, excuse me, made a playoff run since when? Okay, yeah, I'll wait. When you've got the Los Angeles, oh well, the Clippers made the playoffs. But let's be honest, when we're thinking about LA, the Los Angeles Lakers has LeBron. LeBron didn't make the playoffs this season, and I'm not even down on LeBron. This is just hear me out before you think I'm down on LeBron. The Lakers didn't make the playoffs this season. The Lakers organization is in shambles right now. That's the only true thing that the media has been portraying. You got the Los Angeles Clippers. Oh, my bad. I forgot their games were just so exciting when you have not one superstar. Like, not Doc Rivers is an amazing coach. The Clippers put together an amazing team, and they're definitely a franchise that some of these big market free agents should be looking to go to. Due to that the Clippers have a already well put together team. They just need another superstar to help come in, pick the program up, and I definitely think that the Clippers can make a run. But let's be honest, the Clippers are not an entertaining team to watch. They're not a selfish team. It's, you know what I mean? Anybody can go for 30 one night. Lou Williams was an amazing guy coming off the bench, especially during the playoffs against the Golden State Warriors series he did. He was an amazing asset to the team. Chicago hasn't been good since what? Prime D Rose? Okay, yeah. You know, D Rose, again, have an amazing season. Congrats to him. Then you got Philadelphia. Philadelphia is also one of the teams that, oh, well, before that, dang it, I see, if I never started this video, I remember the GM's name, but his whole goal was to trade everybody for picks. Because after, that was his motto. His motto is if you trade enough players and you get enough picks, one of those picks has to be number 1. And they did that for multiple seasons. Philly has just now been put back on the map for basketball. And then you've also got Dallas. Dallas hasn't been good since what, 2008? Ooh, I gotta go back. That's the only thing I gotta go back and look to, especially that's bad because I'm a Miami Heat fan and we did lose that series to them. That was the last time that Mavericks were good, and they really weren't even that good, to be honest. Like, the Miami Heats definitely should have won that series with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. But look, that's not what this video is about. Then you've got the top 5 bottom of the league. You got the Milwaukee Bucks, who are most definitely look like they're heading to the NBA Finals. The Raptors have no answers for them. You've got the Spurs. The Spurs has always had a good team. I can't think of one time where the Spurs has been bad. Even with their team, if you look at the Spurs roster, there's not one person on it that attracts you as, oh, well, the Spurs have this DeMar DeRozan, that's it. Lamarcus Aldridge is not a fun guy to watch. DeMar DeRozan is like the only big name guy that they have on their team. And that's not taken away from Derrick White, DeJounte Murray. I'm just saying, for people, when you're thinking of the San Antonio Spurs and you're thinking of who's on that team, a lot of people's going to say Aldridge or DeMar DeRozan. Then you've got the Oklahoma City Thunder, which you've got Russell Westbrook. You've also got, Russell Westbrook. You've also got Paul George. Now, even though I'm not going to go too deep into that, because even though I know a lot of people's going to say, well, yeah, you know, these are teams. I'm just naming these teams just to show you how far they've actually made it into the playoffs and what they've actually done this season, to show you to the top 5 teams with top market teams based that the teams that people want to be rewarded when that all they've done is tanked and not helped the league at all. When you've got the Memphis Grizzlies also in the bottom top 5, and of course the Pelicans, which you've already named. But like I said, we're not going to talk about how the Pelicans actually swept the Trailblazers last year and also went to the playoffs last year to be defeated by the Golden State Warriors. But like I said, we're not going to talk about that because that's not what the media likes to portray. So when you've got people like Paul George that plays in a small market media, and that's another reason why I listed those teams, is because I want you to list Paul George that plays for a small market team. You've also had Russell Westbrook that plays there. Paul George was one of the guys last year in free agency that they said, oh, he has to leave because Paul George will never be able to win a title. Paul George will never be good without LeBron, etc. Now, I know that the Thunder wound up getting beat again in the first round of the playoffs, but then at the same time, you guys, you also have to remember Paul George was not 100% healthy. I'm not saying that the Thunder has it all to go there, but like I said, that video's not, it's not even really about that. You know, let me stick on track. But I do want to point out that the Thunder, even though that they said Paul George would never be able to thrive in a small market team, I definitely have, 4 or 5 pairs of his shoes in my room right now. Not only that, but Paul George also was in the candidate for MVP. You know, so when you're looking at small market teams, and a lot of times when they try to downsize them, like they can't be good, when you got Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's also, oh my goodness, in the race for MVP. So you got 2 guys already on this list. And if you even want to throw it in, we could throw in Anthony Davis, who has also had an amazing season in New Orleans. Like I said, we've accomplished so much as a Pelicans team, but it just never gets shown on TV due to the fact that media only likes to help out big market teams. They only want to see big market teams win. When a lot of times it's going to be the small market team that's actually going to help the NBA grow. Last but not least, man, the Pelicans most definitely have an advantage. I don't know why this thing with the media is being portrayed as, oh yeah, Zion, let's trade away Anthony Davis for the number 3 pick so we can draft RJ Barrett. Trade away Anthony Davis for the number 3 pick so we can draft RJ Barrett. I'm sorry, I had to repeat that again because apparently I didn't hear that right. Trade away Anthony Davis for the 3rd pick so we can draft RJ Barrett. Now don't get me wrong, RJ Barrett is a great player, and yes, he is good, you know what I mean, like I said, and he played with Zion, and of course the media wants to say, oh, they got the Cinderella experience here, and they can and New Orleans will be able to sell tickets that way. No, New Orleans can sell tickets with Zion Williamson. There is no reason for us to trade away Anthony Davis for the 3rd overall pick. Let that sink in. We're going to trade Anthony Davis to New York because he wants to be traded there? No, it doesn't matter. Anthony Davis won't go to the Lakers due to the sabotage that they did to the Pelicans to try to get Anthony Davis. We don't deal with the Lakers. The Celtics still have the option that we still have the Celtics on our table to deal with players too, even though a lot of people are thinking what the media wants to portray it, as, well, Kyrie's leaving. I don't think that Boston wants to trade it. Boston would definitely trade for Anthony Davis in a heartbeat. They want you to think that we can trade, that the Pelicans are going to trade Anthony Davis for picks and not players, but really we have the advantage. Now that we have Zion Williamson, Drew Holiday, Elfrid Payton, the Pelicans also had a really solid team this year. Just want to put that in. I know I'm kind of jumping around, but the Pelicans had a really solid team this year, but one thing that the media won't say is the amount of injuries that we had. When you've also had Anthony Davis that was injured, 3 times this season? So, yeah. You see, so the Pelicans actually don't have that bad of a team. They actually had a really solid core. It was just a lot of the bench. It came down to the bench, and also due to them not being able to play defense, and also, of course, injuries also hurt the Pelicans. And also, let's not forget season opener when we actually had a healthy team. We blew out the the Rockets by 20. But yeah, okay, we don't have to talk about that neither. But the Pelicans also have an advantage due to the fact that, well, Julius Randle is on an $8 million contract. Julius Randle has definitely shown that he is worth way more than $8 million. So he's also on a player option. Julius Randle leaves the Pelicans in the offseason due to the fact that he knows that he can get a bigger contract next season. The Pelicans are then able to re-announce Solomon Hill's rights, trade him off re-announce his rights. That's $12 million back in our account. Now, with all that being said, with the Pelicans making the moves, the Pelicans are projected looking at an estimate of $31.3 million this offseason. And that's still with Anthony Davis on the roster. And Drew Holiday, excuse me. So you still you have a big 3 already. You've got Drew Holiday, Zion Williamson, Anthony Davis. Let's just say Zion Williamson is not a projected player to be. Let's just say he's not a good player. He's a bust, etc. the kid can still jump out the roof. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that Zion's going to be a bust. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that Zion's going to be a superstar in this league, coming straight in and off the jump. But even if we're just putting this into thinking for the big media markets, excuse me, because, you know, that's what they like to say. Now they're saying that Zion's probably going to be a bust now that he's playing for New Orleans. So you got Zion Williamson. He's a bust, but he's on a fast break situation. The whole crowd, the whole arena is standing up because they know he's finna pull something out. Like I said, Zion is going to sell tickets regardless. So now if you got a big three in New Orleans, the Pelicans have $31 million. They can add another superstar, Class B superstar, that's what they like to call it. With Class B is normally they put in there is Jimmy Butler, Kemba Walker, DeMarcus Cousins. I think DeMarcus Cousins. They got DeMarcus at like Class A or Class B superstar, and Class A is like the highest with Kevin Durant, Kawhi, etc. But I think DeMarcus can fall in the Class B superstar. The Pelicans can definitely offer DeMarcus Cousins some more money next season and to re-sign him to the team. Also maybe pick up Rajon Rondo back off, because more than likely Rajon's not going to return back to LA. And the Pelicans can definitely have an option to rebuild a solid team around this young core that they have right now. Like I said, not trying to say that Anthony Davis wants to leave or Anthony Davis wants to stay, excuse me, but when you got a team that can compete like this, and Anthony Davis said that if he really cares about legacy, it's not going to look good when you've been able to attract, when you built the entire superstar. So let's just put it into perspective. You've got maybe Rajon Rondo at point, you've got Drew Holiday at the shooting guard, Zion at small forward, Anthony Davis at power forward, and DeMarcus Cousins at the 5. So, and then you've also got maybe a solid bench, you know, maybe picking up some not young guys, but, you know, picking up some key role players that can come off the bench, etc. So now when you've got a team like this, and you've got Anthony Davis, who says that all he cares about is his legacy, he doesn't really care about the money, but you've shown that you have a team that you built that can win, that can compete in the Western Conference. It's hard to turn down $210 million. Oh, excuse me, $230 million, I believe. It's hard to turn down $230 million, especially when you have a team that is set to be dominant in the West. So, I'm just going to leave this here for y'all. I know some of my comments were kind of like rumbled, etc. That's just because I was trying to read and talk at the same time. It's kind of hard to do that. A lot of times I just do impromptu in my videos, but this time I actually set up my notes. And like I said, I haven't made a video in a cool minute, so trying to get back into the rhythm. So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. It's your boy Allday0511, and yeah, what you guys think about the Pelicans? Do you still think that they wasted 7 years of Anthony Davis' career? Oh, don't put that down in the comment section, because yeah, if you put that down in the it's a wrap, my guy. Just know it's a wrap. All right. So yeah, it's your boy Allday0511, man. I appreciate y'all for watching the video. I appreciate y'all for sticking out in this video. If you made it all the way into this 18 minutes. And yeah, like I said, let me know down in the comment section what you think. And yeah, it's your boy Allday0511. I'm out.